I thought I was done with men. But then something amazing happened. Hey Reddit, I'm using a throwaway account. My ex is the type to watch his public image, and I just don't want the drama of him finding this. My name is Anna. I'm 32. And 2 months ago, I walked out on my husband of 8 years, Mark. He's 35. I just left. And I'm still trying to process everything that's happened since. When we first met, Mark was the whole package. He was ambitious, incredibly charming, and charismatic. He was the guy who walked into a room and just owned it. Everyone loved him. And he chose me. It felt like winning the lottery. Our life, from the outside, was perfect. We were the power couple everyone envied. We had the beautiful house in the suburbs, the 2 nice cars in the driveway, the high-paying jobs. We looked good together. We posted the smiling vacation photos. We hosted the dinner parties. It was a perfect picture. But a picture is just a flat, 2-dimensional thing. The rot started slowly. It wasn't anything I could point to. It wasn't a big fight. Mark wasn't cruel. He wasn't mean. He was just absent. His career became everything. His image, his ambitions, his next promotion. That's all that mattered. And I stopped being his wife. I became an accessory. I was the prop he brought to office parties. The well-dressed, smiling woman on his arm that proved he had a stable home life. The loneliness was heavy. It was a physical weight in the room. He'd come home and he would talk at me for an hour, not to me. He'd unload all his office politics, who was backstabbing whom, how brilliant his last presentation was. I'd sit on the couch, nodding, and I'm not sure he ever noticed that I hadn't said a word. My own job. He called it cute. He'd pat me on the head, literally, and say, "It's great you have your little hobby, babe." I'm a graphic designer. I have my own clients, my own career. But to him, it was just cute. Then came the finances. He just took over. He said he was just taking care of it for me, taking the stress off my plate. But it meant I had no idea what was happening. We were a team, until I wasn't on the team anymore. I was just living in his world. I was invisible. The final straw. It wasn't a huge fight. It wasn't screaming or plates breaking. It was his 35th birthday party. I spent weeks planning it. Weeks. I coordinated the caterers, hand-wrote the invitations, picked out the music, ordered the cake he liked. I did everything to make it perfect for him, to show everyone what a great life we had, what a great team we were. The party started at 7. At 9, he finally showed up. I heard him laughing before I even saw him. He walked in, not with an apology, but with his boss, laughing. He'd forgotten to tell me he'd invited him. He'd just forgotten. He didn't even look at me. I was standing right by the door, waiting. He just brushed past me, one hand on his boss's back. "Dave, you gotta try the whiskey I got." He grabbed a drink and just started networking. In his own living room. I watched him work the room. My room. The one I'd spent all day cleaning and decorating. And I just went cold. It was like a light switch clicked off. I wasn't his wife. I was the event coordinator. I didn't make a scene. I didn't say a word. I just put down the tray of appetizers I was holding, walked upstairs, and went to our bedroom. I opened the closet, grabbed a single buffel bag, and started putting things in it. Jeans, a few t-shirts, my laptop, my toothbrush. I zipped it up, walked back downstairs, right through the middle of the party, and out the front door. He didn't even notice I was gone. 3 hours later, my phone buzzed in my lap. I was in a motel room across town, the one with the flickering neon sign. I'd paid in cash. My heart jumped. I don't know what I thought. But the text, it wasn't, "Are you okay?" It wasn't, "Where are you? I'm worried." The first text was, "Where are you? People are asking." I just stared at the screen. My hands were shaking. A minute later, another one buzzed. "You're making me look bad. Whatever this is, just come back." You're making me look bad. That was it. That was all I was, an image, and I had just stepped out of the frame. "Hey Reddit, it's been a few weeks, so this is an update. I'm in a tiny bare-bones apartment across town. I'm talking 4 white walls and a mattress that a friend of a friend gave me. The rent is low. That's all that matters. I filed for divorce the day after I left. And Mark is furious. I expected him to be upset, maybe even sad. I don't know. But no, it's just cold, calculated rage. His lawyers are trying to drown me in paperwork. He's claiming I'm emotionally unstable and impulsive. He's trying to argue that the car I'm driving, the one that's in my name, is a marital asset he needs for work. He's not fighting to get me back. He's fighting to win. And this leads to the weird part, the twist. The car I left in, it started making this awful grinding noise, a metal-on-metal sound. My stomach just dropped. Mark always handled the cars. He'd just take them, they'd come back fixed, and I never even thought about it. I was terrified of going to one of those big, shiny dealerships. I could just hear the condescending tone, the upsell. I could hear them treating me like an idiot. So I Googled mechanic near me and found this small, local garage. It looked old, kinda run down, tucked away on a side street. But the reviews were good. I walked in, and this guy, Ben, just nodded from under the hood of a car. He's the total opposite of Mark. Mark was all crisp suits and expensive cologne. Ben was quiet, had grease smeared across his jaw, and smelled like motor oil. He didn't try to charm me. He didn't smile. He just wiped his hands on a rag and said, "What's it doing?" I tried to explain the grinding sound, probably sounding like a total moron. But he just listened. He put the car up on the lift, tinkered for a minute, and then he called me over. He didn't just tell me what was wrong. He showed me. He pointed with this big wrench. "See this?" he said. "This is the brake rotor. See how it's scored? And this pad, it's gone, completely worn down." He explained it, simply, without making me feel stupid. He wasn't trying to bullshit me. He wasn't trying to sell me anything. He just gave me the facts. He told me the price, which was fair. It was respectful. By the way, if you're already feeling that knot in your stomach, just hit that like button. It's wild, I know, but you won't want to miss how this ends. It was such a small, normal human interaction, but it felt huge. My hands, which had been shaking ever since I saw the lawyer's email, actually stopped. Okay, you guys, I need to update you. This is insane. I don't even know where to start. My lawyer started digging. You know, the standard divorce discovery stuff. Mark was fighting so hard to hide his financials, and now I know why. Remember all those work bonuses he was always reinvesting? The ones he told me not to worry about, that he was handling it for our future? They were being funneled straight into a separate account, an account I had no access to, an account I didn't even know existed. My lawyer found emails between Mark and his financial planner. He wasn't just absent. He wasn't just career-focused. He was actively, consciously building a separate life. He was planning to ask me for a divorce in 2 years, right after his next bid promotion was supposed to go through. He was structuring everything, to make sure he kept the house, the investments, and the savings. He was planning on leaving me with almost nothing. The invisibility I felt, the cute job, the taking care of it, it wasn't neglect. It was a strategy. He was making me small, pushing me out of my own life, so that when he finally cut the cord, I'd have nothing to stand on. I couldn't breathe. When my lawyer told me, I couldn't breathe. My hands went numb. I walked out of her office, got in my car, and just started driving. I had no destination. The windshield was blurry. I didn't even realize where I was going until I pulled up. The garage. It was closing time. The big bay doors were rolling down. Ben was just locking up the front office. He saw my car. He saw me. I must have looked broken. I just sat there, my hands frozen on the steering wheel, my face wet. He didn't knock on the window. He didn't ask what was wrong. He walked over, opened my car door, and handed me a clean shop rag from his back pocket. For my eyes. "Bad day?" he said. His voice was quiet. I couldn't hold it in. I told him everything. The divorce, the house, the texts, the secret account, the plan. I unraveled right there on the pavement of his garage. He just sat on the curb, a few feet away, and listened. He didn't interrupt. He didn't offer advice. He just listened. He stayed there with me until the sun went down. "Hello, everyone. This will be my last update. It's over. The divorce is finalized. That secret account, the one Mark was hiding, as soon as my lawyer presented that evidence, his entire case just crumbled. His lawyers folded. There was no more talk about me being unstable. They just wanted it to go away. I got a fair settlement. I'm free. I can actually breathe." After that night at the garage, Ben and I started talking. It was slow. It wasn't a date. I just brought coffee to the garage one morning to say thank you, and we just talked. About cars, about my design work, about nothing. Then, a week later, he asked if I wanted to go to the park with his daughter. She's 7. I was nervous. My heart was hammering. But it was easy. There were no masks, no networking. No one was trying to impress anyone. We just sat on a bench in the sun and watched his daughter play on the swings. It was just normal. I'm writing this from my new apartment. It's a little bigger than the last one. It has a real kitchen. And as I'm sitting here, Ben is in that kitchen. His daughter is standing on a chair covered in flour. They're making pancakes for dinner. I can smell them. I can hear them laughing about a burnt one. This isn't a high-powered, perfect life. It's not a show home. It's real. When I walked out of that party, I thought my life was over. I really thought I was just done. Done with men, done with relationships, and that I was going to be alone. I was terrified. But walking away from that empty, polished life, it made space. Space for something real. The amazing part, it wasn't just finding Ben, as wonderful as he is. The amazing part was finding me, The woman who can take her own car to the mechanic. The woman who can build her own career. The woman who can stand on her own 2 feet. The peace. The simple, quiet peace I feel right now. It's worth everything. Thank you for listening to my story. Goodbye, Reddit.